this version of the class is an adaptation of a class that I taught for 3 pentamesters this past year called Watershed Investigations. And in the past, the kids really got into their waders, took data over multiple weeks, and then came back together. The final project was to really analyze that data and talk about what it tells you about the river. This time around, however, we have adapted it to include some really important and I think more systems thinking level things. Everybody can go into the water and get the feel for what that's like, but one person in your group, either your partner or the third person, is going to be in charge of filling this tube up to the amount that it says on your instruction card. You're going to keep each other accountable. You're going to follow the instructions. Your test may take longer or shorter than other people's, but what I want you to do is follow the instructions to a very specific degree, and then we're going to compare all of our findings together, talk about them a little bit, but do the majority of our discussion as we go back to school. Okay, so 5 millimeter line, get it filled up.
That's milliliter, child. Farewell.
5.
All right, hold on 1 second, John. So do you all have a plan? Once we all have a plan, we'll have groups go one at a time into the water.
Before you do it though, let me ask you a question. This is a river. This is a test for salinity. Do you think we're going to get a salinity measurement? And if you do, roughly the range, what do you think? Today we went out, we got in the waders, we went out into the park, we did all of our water quality testing that we have available to us, so nitrate, phosphate, pH, salinity, and so forth. Came back, we regrouped inside, and we really dove into the details of each of those tests, but the majority of the discussion at the end of class today was really about what are those tests lacking? What can it not tell us? It can tell us a lot about water quality, but there's other things that we want to think about with water that the scientific understanding falls short of.
Yeah, so in addition to looking at kind of our local ecosystem and kind of mapping the Mystic River watershed and local river that we have nearby or other ponds, we're also going to look at larger national or global issues around water, such as like contamination or pollution or access to clean water. We're going to look at case studies like Flint, Michigan, or perhaps like contamination in the Gulf of Mexico, as a way of tying together this understanding of water on a kind of more granular scientific level with the larger systemic issues of access to water that are more social issues than technical issues. So exploring those in greater depth and looking at the larger system to see how we can combine our scientific understanding with social advocacy and activism as kind of these 2 complementary tools to solve large issues.
I think we're, in this iteration, giving equal weight to the scientific aspects of understanding water quality and human relationship to water, but as well thinking about ways in which water can be a social issue and not just an environmental or an ecological one. And that's why we're really excited to teach this class, because it really does give a space for all of these things to exist together, which environmental studies, that's exactly what should be. So we're excited.
Really fun. You feel the water crushing you? What are you doing?